Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the WPS podcast. That is Why People Suck. I'm Celia, and I'm joined by my co host, best friend, and sister, Alejandra. Every week, we're going to be breaking down everyday scenarios where people are, well, annoying and talk about what we can actually do about it besides just screaming into the void.
Hi, everyone. We're so excited to finally be doing this. We have been talking about doing this podcast for such a long time. And honestly, this podcast started because the two of us just love to sit around, drink wine, and vent and talk about people who are ridiculous. And let's face it, we've all been there. We've all had those moments that we go, wow, I can't believe you actually exist. Right? So we figured, why not make a space where we can all laugh, vent, and feel a little bit more understood?
If we're feeling this level of annoyance, we know other people are feeling it too. And
For
today,
sure.
I'm just going to jump right into it with a spicy topic: return to office mandates. Because honestly, there is nothing worse or nothing that brings out why do people suck energy more than the return to office mandates.
You said it. It's so
Yep.
true.
So today is all about why this method feels outdated, unnecessary, and peak annoying behavior. So, Alejandra, kick us off before I start to rage type and email to HR.
Absolutely. And maybe I'll join you later. No, but seriously. So,
We should complain.
yeah. So, okay, 6 years ago, I was in the office 5 days a week. It was terrible, but that's how things were, right? And then COVID happened, and then we immediately shifted to fully being in remote. We did that for 2 years seamlessly. All of our work got done. There were no issues. Of course, there were technical issues, but I'm going to come back to that point. Technical issues. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, guess what? We need to come back into the office because it's better for team building. You know how
Mm,
much work I actually get done when I'm in the office? Zero. It's insane. The amount of people that come into my office and are constantly bothering me, I get no work done when I'm in the office. It's so enraging. And then now we were in the office twice, and now they decided that that wasn't good enough, that now we have to be in the office 3 days a week. So now I get even less work done, and I'm more panicked when I'm at home because those are the days that I actually get work done. And I simply don't have the time to do it all. So it's crazy to me that this is what they want us to do. It's all in the name of team building, and we have to be in person. Why? Who cares?
yeah. There are so many points actually against what you were saying, where people really don't get stuff done in the office. I think there's a study that says that about 36 to 39% of the time, people aren't even working. I think this was an article that came out on Forbes. We're going to link that in the description because there is proof that you're actually not more productive in the office. And also,
Yep.
as a more introverted person, I have to say, no one's thinking about us. I hate being in the office, surrounded by all this noise and distractions. I can never get anything done. I'm way
Oh,
better,
it's so distracting.
right? And
And
those
I can't
noise,
even
then
yeah,
go on and have a social. Don't come to the
yeah,
office to distract me. I just want to get my stuff done and go home.
yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like, stop trying to make your coworkers your friends. If you want to be friends with your coworker, then do something outside of work. I'm not trying to make friends here. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm trying to get paid. That's it. That's all I want out of this transaction. I'm not trying to walk out of here with a best friend. I'm not trying to walk out of here with somebody that I can hang out with. No, thank you. If that happens, great. We'll hang out after work
Yeah,
or
force it.
whatever. Yeah, but I'm getting paid to do my work. I want to do my work. I don't want to sit here and chit chat about your weekend. That's not what I'm here to do
Yeah,
because no one is going to do my work for me. Also,
exactly. And also, what you were saying, how leadership thinks that coming back to the office is going to build a culture and make team bonding and whatever more special, or I don't know what
mhm.
they're looking for. That is so not true. These are just crazy people who want to control everyone and just boss people around in person
Oh,
because they
100%.
don't trust us. which begs the
Yeah.
question, why did you even hire us in the first place if you're not going to trust us to get our work done? Why do you have to treat us like children?
Yeah.
I think these
Yeah.
people have the tiniest egos and they just
Hmm.
need to feel like the big fish in the pond, you know?
Oh, yeah.
There's like
It's
no
like,
reason for us to do this.
yeah, keep the people controlled and scared,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
basically. Yeah. It's so ridiculous. And also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but all of the leadership positions that are so excited for us to return to work are all over the age of 50. Something that kind of came to me was, okay, these people probably don't have younger kids and probably never had they had to do stuff when they had little kids, and it was hard to be in the office 5 days a week. So I feel like they're kind of just going, "Well, I had to do it, so then you have to do it." Instead of saying, "Oh my gosh, that was a really hard time in my life. Wouldn't it be so much better if we can make things better for the next generation, less difficult?"
Yeah.
Making things less difficult, and it's not just for kids, people that have little kids, it's people who have just anything going on. There's also our generation now has to take care of our older parents. That's another burden on our generation. We have to traffic is horrible everywhere. If you live in a major city, I live like 8 miles away. It takes me 45 minutes to get into the office in the morning, and then it takes me almost an hour to get home. And that's not
Yeah.
even leaving at peak hours because I work earlier than most people and then leave a little bit earlier than 5 o'clock so I don't have to sit in traffic. It's just this mentality of it. I don't care that it would make it easier on this new generation. I had to do it, so screw you. You have to do it too. I'm
Oh,
not trying
yeah,
to help
absolutely. Yeah. I feel like we need to do an episode just about this because it's really annoying on
boomers.
all levels. I feel like I've discovered that the more you go through it, I thought people would become more empathetic. It's the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
People care less because they're like, well, I had it worse or whatever. There is actually no empathy at all.
Yeah. No, it's true. I've actually, with managers that I've had before that were older than me, I've noticed that instead of actually trying to help you, they try to make things harder for you. They're like, I'm not going to try to help you because I had to figure it out on my own. So you have to figure it out on your own. So I
Yeah.
have made the conscious decision not to do that in my role. And I feel, why don't other people want to do that? Why don't you want to help other people? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. So many things wrong. Why do they suck?
Why
It's
do people suck?
I know, it's just I can't wait till it's all just millennials and Gen Z in the workplace. 'Cause
Seriously,
Gen X, what the hell? They're the ones who are 50 now, aren't they?
is that
They
Gen X? I don't remember. I guess so.
Yeah, I think so. Boomers are
Yeah.
now in their 60s. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, it's just so insane, isn't it? And like you were
Yeah.
saying, the commuting time, the mental health, the wasted time. Because for me, it takes an hour to get to work, an hour to come back. And then I also lose my lunch hour, which if I was
Oh,
home, I could be doing my chores, I could go to the doctor, I
mhm.
could do so many things. And also not waste that hour or whatever, however long it takes you to get ready to go to work to look decent. That's not
Yeah.
even about the cost of commuting and
Mhm.
other costs involved with having to go to work because, man, I need to look good if I'm in public. So I also need to pay for new clothes, makeup, take all this time to look good. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Which is also a requirement of being in the office. You can't just show up in your sweatpants, obviously.
Yeah,
So it's a double-edged sword. I don't want to look bad, but also you're not giving me the opportunity not to look bad. I have to look good,
yeah.
which is annoying.
It's so true. And
Yeah,
just
it's a total waste of time.
there's also evidence that it leads to burnout and higher stress levels. And you were saying it really disproportionately affects women. There's been studies about this in minorities and
Mhm.
people who have disabilities or people who are caregivers of any sort, because you have to make a lot of sacrifices to make it work.
Mhm.
There's more cons than pros, really, if you think
Definitely.
about it, because now we can work remotely and we proved it during COVID.
Yeah. And another point too was that they're saying this whole return to work is because there's all these offices that are just empty. So they're just sitting there empty and there's no one in there. So they're losing money. That's not my problem. That is not my
Yeah.
problem. I don't care.
Yeah. And instead of laying people off when times get tough, stop paying for your £1 million lease and just support your people.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, if it came down to dropping people to maybe 1 day a week so that people can kind of share the space, but it can be a smaller space so that you can then keep all of your people, do you think that they would? That's a that's an interesting thought, right? Because what would they do? Would they put their people first or would they be, no, we need to have butts in seat no matter what?
Yeah. Which
But
is
then you're also laying people off. So it's, well, then you don't have butts in seat because you can't even pay them. So what's the
exactly.
point?
This is so
Yeah.
ridiculous, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's just another cop out for being a bad leader because if you're a good leader,
Hmm.
then you can fire people remotely, make sure everybody's doing their work and no need for them to be in the office. You would be looking at how well they deliver things, how if they keep deadlines, etc. Like you're not thinking about how many hours are you in an office. That's not
Yeah.
the right thing to be measuring.
No. You should only
Yeah.
really the work getting done. Like if you have somebody that consistently is missing deadlines or you're like, hey, what's going on with this thing and it hasn't moved or you haven't seen it in forever, then you have a problem. But you as a manager or as a leader should know to follow up on things and to be looking for signs of, hey, you're not actually doing any work. There are issues here. And that's not something that's going to be fixed by somebody being in the office or not being in the office. It's just some people just suck and can't do work.
Yeah.
But why should everybody be punished for that? For people who are lazy?
No, exactly. You're absolutely right. It's just they're not thinking this.
No, they're not. They're just I don't know. Oh, I heard this story actually that I thought was so interesting. This lady that I ran into at one of my kids' schools, I asked her where she was because our kids are friends and we kind of started chit-chatting. And I said, oh, where do you work? And she goes, well, I work wherever. And I said, are you in the office? Talking about the return to office thing, because this was around the time when it was kind of like state mandated that most places would have to go in more than just twice a week. And she said, oh, we're back in 5 days a week. But she's not in an actual office with her coworkers. She's in some like office sharing space. So she doesn't know. She works with like 100 other people, she said, in this giant office. It's just like a open area, which so distracting. I don't even know why that's a thing. Like, why did they make that a thing? You're an architect. Why?
Yeah.
Why did the world go into this? Is it better somehow?
I don't think so. I think this goes
It
back to
can't be.
crazy leadership who wants to just be overseeing everything
Yeah.
and controlling people.
Yes.
I
No
don't
privacy. Gotta make sure you're not on Instagram.
yeah, at all. And also, we're all very different people. I recently read this book called Surrounded by Idiots. Great title. It's about how we all have different behaviors. And there's
Yeah.
people who just can't work in environments like that, but
Yeah.
we force people to do what the leadership wants.
Mhm.
And all these people tend to be the same kind of psychopath people, I think.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're just not catering to everyone or thinking about the consequences of these
Yeah.
things. Another thing I was
Yeah.
thinking about, like when people work remotely, you don't get sick as often and your
Yeah.
mental health is better. I mean, based on some surveys that I saw recently, like this year, 81% of workers were saying that they prefer remote working rather than a pay increase. And
Mhm. Mhm.
99% of people who are either remote or working hybrid feel that their mental health is better. So it's
Yeah.
better for their well-being.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
also data that shows that remote working is better for people and it doesn't affect productivity. And then with
Yeah.
these stupid return to office mandates, there's even evidence that people leave. You know, companies are losing their top talent because they're
Mhm.
not going to be flexible. So they're also losing out. Like, who's winning here?
I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. And like before I used to be very like, oh, I'll make my doctor's appointments on a day that I'm in the office because most of my doctors are by my house. I'm not like having doctors by the office. Most people do that, I think. So now I'm like, well, if you want me in the office 3 days a week, then fine. I'm going to make my appointment at the super inconvenient time of 2:30. So I have to leave at like 1:30.
Yeah.
And then after my doctor's appointment, I'm not coming back here. I'm just going to go home and finish out my day. Like, why would I do that? And it's
Yeah,
just
it's
stuff like
so
that.
great
It's like,
that they at least let you do that. In my
yeah.
previous job here, they were total psychopaths and they would dock me whatever amount of time it would take me to go to the doctor from my either vacation time or pay. It was so ridiculous.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I mean, I have to use sick leave for all of that time, but which
Oh,
again, I would have to use less time if I was 5 minutes from the doctor's office versus 30 minutes.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so I'm being penalized again.
Yeah, you get all these hours back that you use for these things, so then they're
Hmm.
not encroaching in your work time
Right.
or on your mental space, I guess. What do you call
Hmm.
it? Like, you're thinking about other things when you're at work, so
Yeah.
there's also that added pressure or issues that also affects the company. So it's not that I care about the company, but I'm trying to show that these idiots are losing too.
Well, they are. It's
Yeah.
just people are so mad now. And everybody that I talk to, they're like, I'm doing what I have to do to get my work done. I'm not doing anything extra. I'm not going the extra mile anymore because if the job is taking more than it's giving me, I'm not going to give more than the job is taking, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
totally. And I think I'm seeing that more and more often. Though they say also Gen Z trends, that's what people are doing, which is great. Get on with
Yes.
that.
Yeah, we should. I know that Gen Z is a lot more work-life balance. They have more of a understanding of it and think of it it's very important to them. Basically, when they go to a job, they require that as part of the questions that they ask at an interview. They're like, well, what's the work-life balance here? And I love that. Let's move in that direction. Why are we moving backwards? Oh, that's another thing. Why are we moving backwards? It's such, ugh, that makes me so mad.
Yeah.
It's kind of going back to the whole thing where they were like, well, that's how I used to do it. So you guys have to do it. And it's like, okay, yes, that used to work. And sure, it could in theory work now, but why are we going backwards? Aren't we trying to make progress here? This is
Yeah.
not progress. This is going backwards. Why?
No,
Why are we doing this?
I completely agree. We're supposed to be making life better. And we saw
Yeah.
how much better we all felt when we
Yeah.
were given the flexibility. And no,
Yeah.
they don't care. Again,
Yeah.
I think these people have problems at home. They hate their families. I don't know. I could go on forever
I
about all the reasons
seriously
why
feel
these
like they
people
must hate their
suck.
families. Are you afraid of being alone? Because if you don't have a family, then maybe you're just afraid of being alone. But I would love alone time.
Yeah. Well, then, if that's the case, we could have flexible working. You don't tell people they have to come in, just if they
Yeah.
want to. Hey, that's
Right.
another possibility. Also, for those people who like to talk that are more extroverted and they need to be around people and energy or whatever. But you can't force everyone back. We all work differently and we all work well. That's been
Yeah.
proven. We've
Yeah.
talked about the productivity thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And if they're talking about culture, then do socials, voluntary socials. If you want to meet after work and have parties or whatever, or during work
Mhm.
hours, but outside, then do
Yeah.
that. We're not
Yeah.
supposed to be socializing in the office either, because then they're like, oh, then you're not being productive. So it's how does it
Yeah. It
fit?
doesn't make sense. Yeah. It
How
doesn't
do
even make
we
sense.
build a culture when we're supposed to be working? And then you're like, oh, but you're not working. So what do you want?
Yeah. What do you want? What do you want from us?
If your office is forcing you back to all our listeners, we want you to get your coworkers together, get the conversation started. It started a long time ago. I think we're all pretty mad about this,
Yeah.
but
I think
people are
lately,
being stupid.
yeah, I think lately it's gotten worse because it's become now it's not 2 days a week. Now it's 3 days a week. So the balance has now turned or it's shifted more
Mm,
towards what they want versus what actually works for us. And I think that's why people are really mad.
Yeah.
That's why
For
I'm
sure.
mad.
I know. And even in looking for other jobs, everything is in office. At
Yeah.
least as you said. So many
Mhm.
places are already 5 days too.
Oh my
When
gosh,
the places
no.
I used to work at, they're already back 5 days a week.
That's
And
horrible.
this is an architecture firm. You can work, you're on your computer all the time. And I
Yeah,
remember specifically in 2020, we were working harder than before because you have your computer at home. You just keep working. And we
right.
got really fat bonuses that year, I remember. We were working, you know?
There you go. See? Proof.
Proof not just based on stats, but our personal life. We
Yeah,
saw it. We lived it.
it is so true.
Yeah.
And just me being happier in general makes me want to do more work because I'm not constantly distracted in my mind about all of the other things that are going on
Yeah.
that make it more difficult for me to do my job.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah, we could talk about this topic forever, honestly. We might have to do a second episode once we get feedback from people.
Yeah. Yes. So, our audience, let us know what your thoughts are on return to office mandates. Do you like it or do you hate it? Just like we do. Let us know in the
Yeah.
comments, DM us on socials. Let us know.
And please, if you like it, please tell us why. Are we
Yeah.
missing something here? Come on.
We hope to see you on next time for another conversation on why people suck. What will we be discussing? We'll see.